A valiant soldier in the ranks. We've lost him to the female trickery of feminism, but it's okay. We're going to keep on pushing.
What's up, Alpha? It's your boy, Alpha. May looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. Putting it in your face.
Oh, that was crazy. That's not where I thought he was going.
Whoa. I ain't got no problem with dark-skinned girls. I bang them all the time. Wait, hold on.
How have you done it, Joe?
Hello again. Welcome. It is your boy Final Fantasy, aka you're not gonna win in fantasy football. Here again with another episode of Make It Make Sense. And of course, I am your host, the one and only Ray Hudson. And I am joined by a couple of colorful collective people. First and foremost, we have the smoothly shaven babyface CEO. Zelman, what's up?
Shout out to corporate. It came down. You gotta shave your face until you as long as you work here, you gotta shave. That's what overall 99 represents. That's what we do. Shout out to that.
He looks like an entirely different person. Speaking of an entirely different person, we have the Handsomes, aka Mr. Durag Lord, aka I will slide in more than your DMs. It is Unico Williams. What it do?
Hey, yo, it's the big slider. That's all I got.
Oh, the big slider. Well, that is wild.
Big slider out here. You know what it
ain't
is.
really got much else to follow behind it. But of course, this week, the main thing that is trending that's of major national-wide importance is sports. And, football is here, this lovely time of year, and I am ready, as we are ready, to let you know who's going to win, who's going to lose, and the predictions, as well as the Super Bowl coming up in February. As our lovely babyface CEO Zelmay got it right last year. We will see if he can go for 2 for 2. But, we're going to have to have some fun with it. So, we'll try to make our way through the nice football conferences. So we'll start out, just picking winners. If you want, you can give records if you want out of 17 games. But we'll start out with the winners. So let's just take a look at it first. In this lovely AFC North, who you got going? I'm going to start off with the babyface himself. Zelmay, what you looking at in this AFC North? Who going to take it?
I'm predicting that the Bengals win the division with a tied record with the Ravens. Who the Ravens, I will say, going to win the Super Bowl. So I'm going with it. Let's go. They're going to be in the Super Bowl. And so I'm going with their prediction. And will I be right twice in a row? As a wild card, the Ravens will win the Super Bowl. So that's my prediction. Bengals win the division with a tied record, but they will win the head-to-head. So
now that definitely is something to see. So you're saying the Ravens are going to win. No, you're saying the Bengals are going to win the division, but the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Okay, now that's definitely something a little different than Mr. Unico Williams. Do you agree?
Well, my AFC first. My thing is this: I prefer to go by division because I can't break it. Like Zelmay just jumped out the window. He jumped out the window.
That's my prediction for that conference.
And that's cute. No, that's cute. It's cute. I love it. But I really need to process it, and I would like to process it through this show if y'all don't mind. So from an AFC standpoint, the North, man, that is a tough division because I don't know. You got the Ravens who have Lamar Jackson. He got his contract. That's beautiful. That's cute. You got Joe Burrow who got his contract, and that's cute. Now, I know that T. Higgins, he's looking for his contract and all that. That's cute. Cleveland Browns, I can't forget that Deshaun Watson is in the division now. Like, that's a tough thing. And then Pittsburgh Steelers, that Pickens boy, he got me thinking. So that's a tough division to pick. And I think they're going to beat up on each other the way that the Big Ten beats up on each other when it comes to Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State, all that type of stuff. So that's making it hard for me. So let me skip out on them real quick. Let me go to the South. That's a tough division.
How you gonna skip with it? No, we're not skipping. You gonna pick a winner today. You don't have to go as far as the playoff prediction, but you gonna pick a winner today.
It like I honestly want to say my this is so tough. This is a tough division, y'all. I need y'all to understand because this is really like actually like really competitive division. All of them have a quarterback. All of them have great, like this is going back to the like 2000s, 2010s, honestly, like when it comes to the AFC North. If I have to choose, I'm gonna gamble on Deshaun Watson. So let me get the Browns.
Oh wow! See, both of y'all came out with shocking stuff, but
let me come with the Browns. But this is gonna be a tough division. I think this is gonna be the hardest one to actually say who is going to win it because this is a tough division. I believe in all their.
I think it's second hardest, but we'll get to that in a bit. I think it's second hardest.
That's fair.
I'm not knocking. I think it's second hardest, but
even AFC South is kind of tough. I mean, we'll take away the Houston Texans. They have some growing to do, but those other three teams, that's tough. My heart is at home with the Colts because I do want that young brother to win. But I think that it comes down to Jacksonville.
Okay.
East, I gotta say.
I guess I'm gonna get all yours out the way. You're gonna get all yours. Don't get it.
Well, how do you want to do? I'm sorry. I apologize.
Are you fine? We're gonna go one by one. But if you want to get all yours out, go and get all yours out.
I'll get them all out then. I'll just take care of it. I want the Colts to win with a young brother, but I think that Jacksonville is probably the most steady for it. The East, AFC East. I gotta go. I'm going with Jets wholeheartedly. And I believe that the Buffalo Bills will be a wild card because that's just how somebody has to win the East. And then I think there's going to be somebody else. Man, that Miami team is scary. It's very scary. But I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. And then I believe in Josh Allen. He's a pretty good quarterback, but he is kind of hurt. And in the West, ooh, child. Ooh, child. I mean, I believe that Russell is good. I believe that Mahomes is good. And then I believe that boy in San Diego is good. The AFC is tough this year, y'all. So
boy, if he got to keep throwing it, Kadarius Toney.
Man, child, did y'all watch that game the other day?
That ball hit him right here and went up in the air.
Boy.
If your own teammate, did y'all see the steal of that pass to Tony? It hit him right in the hands, and that's tough.
And it hit you in both hands in stride, and it ended up for a touchdown for the other team. It's crazy.
They lost, man, and then there was other opportunities in that game where he could have had a first down. That's tough.
That 3rd and 15, he had to turn and catch that wide open for a touchdown to get
drop it. That's a tough division right there, man. I'm sorry, that's a tough division.
Tony can catch you. We wouldn't have been that tough.
But I gotta believe in Mahomes down the stretch, even though we trying to see now we know that the coach of the Denver Broncos, Mr. Sean Payton, he's challenged Russell.
Stop kissing babies.
That's what he said. I don't know. That's a tough division. Who's the quarterback for the Raiders?
The Raiders is Jimmy G.
Mr. Garoppolo. Man, that's a tough man. AFC is tough. I'm gonna have, but if I have to, I gotta go with Mahomes because I gotta go with Mahomes. But that's a tough division. That's where I'm at with the AFC.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Mr. Babyface, did you want to get your other three teams out the way before I begin?
Jaguars. I think they got the best quarterback by far in that division. So I'm going with the best quarterback. The Dolphins. I'm going with the Dolphins to win this division. Why? Because I think speed kills, and I don't think the Jets' offensive line is that good. And Buffalo's secondary is very injured.
May I ask you, can Tua get the job done with those speedsters?
If he's healthy, we seen them. They balled out when he's healthy. That's all I'm saying. When he's healthy, they won most of the time. So I'm gonna go with them because, like I said, the Bills' secondary is horrible, and the Dolphins' defensive line is good, and the Jets' offensive line is absolutely terrible. I think that'll be a good team, but still. And of course, Travis Kelce ain't missing many more games. So I'm going with the Chiefs. And as long as they don't have to force Tony the ball in big situations, I think they'll be good. Cause my boy, he deleted his Twitter account. He needed champagne. He talked to him. Hey, bro, you need to just put some stickum on your glove, make them extra sticky. So stop kissing babies. I don't know if they're gonna be enough, but I'm going with Kansas City. Baltimore beating Kansas City in the divisional game, by the way.
Okay, we'll get to the playoffs later. But you know,
I predict the whole.
He itching. I know he's itching to get his Super Bowl selection out, but it's fine. So for me, I'm gonna look at the second hardest one to look at. Of course, is AFC North. It's rough, but I really think it's between two teams, between the Ravens and the Bengals.
No Browns.
No, I'm sorry. Deshaun Watson is going to have to show that he can be the Deshaun Watson of like 4 years ago ish, somewhere in that area, 3-4 years ago.
Don't do that. 2 years ago.
He has to show. No, he has to show that. Like 2 years
No,
ago.
I'm just saying, don't say 4 years ago. He's been good.
We ain't saying good. He has to be spectacular to be able to propel the Browns team, which the Browns team is solid, but
the Ravens got receivers this year. He ain't never had receivers.
Okay, I'm not even buying the whole Ravens got receivers. Half of their receivers got to show that they can be good receivers. One OBJ coming off of 2 major knee injuries, and then another one is basically a rookie. Like, no, they got to show.
Listen, both of them are already better than the crap they had.
It don't matter. Them being better than what they had. I'm not gonna call those players crap. Them being better than who they had doesn't necessarily mean they're elite. Like, if they're not top wide receivers, you know, it's still gonna be Lamar Jackson against the world.
That man won MVP with
Hollywood Brown,
he won MVP off of running.
They have receivers that have to still prove themselves.
Yes, and so it's for that reason, combined with the fact that Lamar has to show that he can get through a full year. You know, not saying he can't, you know, because of course his first year, you know, he was able to do that. But these last couple of years have been rough toward the second half of the season when it comes to injuries, but not only him, but for the entirety of the Ravens team. So for me, it's hard for me to go against the history that the Bengals have showed ever since Joe Burrow has been able to be healthy. As long as Burrow is healthy, he has shown he can throw his team, even with a bad offensive line, into a playoff situation. So I'm rolling with the Bengals 3rd year in a row. I don't really see, you know, other than if Lamar has a spectacular year, I'm not seeing the other two teams be able to topple that. The South, I'm sorry, I think the Jaguars run away with it. I don't really think it's competitive at all.
Interesting.
I got 3 way better than everybody.
I believe that Tennessee is difficult.
I essentially got 3 rookie quarterbacks against another rookie quarterback, but they at least got 2 years on his belt and got the most stacked team compared to the other two, especially with the addition of Calvin Ridley coming back. I'm sorry, I just see the Jaguars running away with their division relatively easily.
Don't bet on games.
Nah, the East. This is the hardest one to pick. This the hardest one to pick, I think, in the entire NFL. If I got to be honest with you, because between the Bills, the Dolphins, if Tua's healthy, and the Jets with this new Aaron Rodgers, and just it's such a wild card to pick out of it. I can see all 3 of them teams coming straight to the playoffs, depending on how things run out. But if I really gotta make a bet on it, I'm gonna go Buffalo. I'm gonna go Buffalo because they've shown that they can get the job done, at least during the regular season. They've shown they can be a dominant team. Their team hasn't changed really too much over the course of the offseason to where it can be seen as a bit of a negative. No, the secondary is a bit questionable, but it's not to the point I think it's a weakness of them. Josh Allen has definitely rose his game. He showed he can do to get the job done. Tua has to show first that he's healthy, you know, and then we need to see that they actually able to sustain winning over the course of the entire season. So they have to show that on both fronts. Even though they show they can score, but we got to see if the other things like Jalen Ramsey, when he's able to come back from injury, and if those things can come together to actually perform and winning a division. And then the Jets, I mean, on paper they look good, but Aaron Rodgers didn't have necessarily a wonderful year last year. And so we got to see if he's able to dial it back a couple of years to be MVP Aaron Rodgers, to be able to put a Jets team to a Super Bowl kind of caliber that everybody sort of think they are. So until they show me, I'm going to go with a team that I know that can at least dominate and get to a top 3 seeding in the AFC, and that's the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to roll with them. Even though I think that's tough, I think they can go 3 different ways easy. And then the West, I'm going to be real, as much as I want to pick the Chargers, and I picked the Chargers last year. don't want to. Brandon Staley is still there. They have to show that they can, win a playoff game. And as much as we love Justin Herbert, he got to show he can get the job done. Like we can't keep lauding him as a top 5 quarterback, and he's not shown top 5 quarterback, quality play in postseason time and stuff. Like, dropping an almost 30-point lead is horrendous no matter how you look at it. The year before that, they didn't even make the playoffs when they were supposed to, quite honestly, but that could be attributed a little bit more to the coach rather than him. Now, I know he's been struggling with injuries last year, which sort of hampered him a bit, but he's got to show that they can be a dominant team. He can be that guy. Yeah, so, I mean, and that the sad thing about it, the loss of Travis Kelce and however long Chris Jones is out is going to hurt Kansas City. We've seen it hurt Kansas City. So it's going to hurt Kansas City. To what extent, I don't know. But if Kelce can come back within a month, I would still pick Kansas City to win the division. Now, it's not going to be high because I think the Chargers can split off 10 to 11 games, relatively simple. So that means Kansas City don't have no more room for error. If they fall down to like 12-5, somewhere in that area, then they can get overtaken by the Chargers if the Chargers actually have a good year. And that's just because we see that the Chiefs receivers, at least starting out, are not what we wish they would be. Now, Kadarius Toney, not going to hate on him anywhere too much because he fought his way back from injury, didn't get the chance to play in training camp preseason and fought his way to get back into the game. He just didn't have a good game. I don't think that's going to continue. I think, him, Sky Moore, MVS, I think they'll be able to get to be serviceable. It was a bunch of miscues, mistakes that happened. They still were able to dial off 20 points. Their defense still, seemed solid. It was
without Chris Jones, without Travis Kelce, that's second and third best players. So
like it still was able to, do a serviceable job. They only lost by 1 point to a Lions team that most people believe will win the division, which we'll get to later. So I think Kansas City can still get it done. They just don't have room for error anymore. The team we see without their number 2 and number 3 pieces is susceptible to losing. So that's my thing. I think Kansas City can still do it. Just they don't have room for error anymore. Now it's just only because the Chargers, their schedule is rough. But it is what it is. But that's enough for the AFC. Let's look at this beautiful NFC now. And so we got FOMO. Now the NFC might be a little bit easier to pick, in certain circumstances. But let's give it a shot. Mr. Unico Williams, what you looking at?
Man, first of all, let's go to the north. I got Chicago winning. Just because, man, that boy Hutchinson is a bad boy. Now, for the Detroit Lions, the defensive end, he is putting pressure on the offensive line. He did a great job from what I could see. He saw how much Bosa got out of there from San Francisco, and he's like, I need that too. I need that bag too, and I think that's what he's working on. I believe that they might have some trouble with the Chicago Bears. Just because of that standpoint right there is because Justin Fields can escape the pocket. But we can't sleep on Minnesota, but I got Detroit Lions winning this one. I believe that as soon as Aaron Rodgers left, I believe that Jared Goff doesn't suck as a quarterback. So let's leave. Man, he made some amazing throws across over the middle of the field. So let's go to the South. That's a tough one to call. Only because they suck. But I'm going with New Orleans Saints just because of my heart and my home. But also, I think I've never thought that Derek Carr was a bad quarterback. I never thought that.
You're the best quarterback in the division.
I believe, honestly, I believe Jameis Winston, if he was starting, that I would still believe that the Saints are the favorites in this conference. Man, here we go. Let's go to the East. That's the one. That's going to be the problem. It's problematic because Washington has a quarterback they believe in. The Eagles, they went to the Super Bowl. Danny Dimes, I believe he can make every throw, and then he can't escape the pocket. And then Dak is the most disrespected, and rightfully so, because everything is on Dak. I really believe everything is on Dak for this team this year. So he's got pressure on him. But let's go ahead and rock with Philly because you got two stud wide receivers out there, AJ, and you got that Smith boy, Devontae Smith. You got him. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Super Bowl runner-ups. Now the West, I'm going with Geno. I'm riding with Geno. Geno Smith out of Seattle Seahawks. He's a proven quarterback. He can get it done. What if Brock Purdy comes in and he lays an egg? I mean, he's the third quarterback. He's the last picked in the draft. Is he really that guy? Is he really a Tom Brady? We got to see. I believe that from a Ram standpoint, what that boy name is, the quarterback, Stafford. Matthew Stafford. I mean, he got what he needed. It's over with though. Like it's really over with. And then Arizona Cardinals, what? They're tanking on purpose. They are legitimately going in public and tanking in front of everybody.
We're not gonna play a starting quarterback this year.
Charlie Villanueva is not the quarterback there, but I liked him and I'm talking about Dodson, y'all. I'm just playing. But I mean, no, come on. Arizona Cardinals are basically saying no way. We're just going to try and tank for that boy down there in USC, Caleb, and go on about our business. I'm giving this I think the Seattle Seahawks win this year. As far as the West goes in the NFC. That's my thoughts. Thank you all.
Ooh, some hot stuff there.
Is it?
Babyface.
Okay, rebuttal. I want you to rebuttal and then let Zelmay go. You rebuttal.
Oh, okay. So I agree.
Because I already know. No, my boy Zelmay, he got something on his mind. He about to go off. Well, I just want you to rebuttal what I just said.
Okay, so rebuttal 1. I agree. I think the Lions is going to take the division. I think it's going to be a little bit tighter between them and the Vikings because I don't think the Lions are going to just run away. I think the Lions will win. I don't think there's going to be just a drag out runaway thing. I think they'll win maybe. I can see 11-6.
They were 9-8 last year, so
yeah, I can see 11-6, and because even if the Vikings take a step down, they still need to beat the Vikings, at least once or twice. And the Vikings do have the offense to run with them. It just depends on the secondary and how that's going to shake out. And the secondary did have a couple of holes against the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs receivers couldn't necessarily pounce on it. So they're not like they're dynamic where they're just going to dominate. I can see 11-6 taking it, and it's going to be like a half game above the Vikings. I can see them taking it. Now, the South, I don't understand the Saints downplay that some people keep me giving. Like everybody wants to put the Falcons on this 11-6 run. I'm like, I don't understand. Desmond Ridder is essentially still a rookie. Like, he got a few games. I can't remember exactly how many games he got last year. He got a few games last year. He's essentially a rookie. Like, I don't understand how people are putting these rookies on like Patrick Mahomes status where they're going to come in and just instantly start dominating with double-digit wins. Like they're not going to make mistakes. I don't quite understand that. Every rookie is not Patrick Mahomes. That's not how this is going to go. So I still see the Falcons, even though they're going to have a dynamic rushing attack. I can still see them struggling to score points. I can still see them struggling just essentially. Even though the division isn't strong, the division essentially has 2 rookie quarterbacks, Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield. So just,
Baker Mayfield.
I'm just not seeing the domination that the Falcons are going to run on. So I could see the Saints running away with the division just off of 9 wins. Like, I don't really think the division is going to be anything spectacular. I think a lot of people are going to lose in that division. So I can see 9 wins taking their division and winning, even on a 17-game season. So the Saints downplay is amazing me, especially Michael Thomas is coming back. If he happens to be able to stay healthy, that's a dynamic weapon. That
slant man.
Like, it's wild for me. Derek Carr can actually win. Like, he is a quarterback that actually is, good. Like, we ain't saying he's spectacular, but he's the best quarterback in that division easily. Like, what are we talking about? So I can see them winning. I'm gonna take the Cowboys. Like, I'm like, it's
how about them Cowboys?
Really? Really?
Look,
okay.
Last year, I understand didn't go their way, but their team wasn't super deficient compared to the Eagles team. That's not how it was. The Eagles had dynamic sacking ability, and we'll have to see if they're gonna be able to replicate that. But I can see the Eagles taking a step back. They might not necessarily be 14-3. They could be 12-5, which is were last year, but the Cowboys got better. The Cowboys were able to add another wide receiver. Even though he is a journeyman, he is good. They were able to add another wide receiver. They were able to add Stephon Gilmore to the defense. So the defense, which was already top 5 last year, had the chance to be top 3, headed towards 1 maybe, if it's everything locks up like Dan Quinn wants it to. So that defense is disgusting. The Eagles did lose some pieces, so they got a few more rookies and things they're going to be experimenting on. So I don't know if their defense is going to be as good. So I can see the Cowboys winning their division. Shockingly enough, I can see them winning. And I'm not saying Dak Prescott is, worse than Jalen Hurts. No, I'm saying it's just 53-man roster. I can see the Cowboys taking it. So, it might be a little crazy, but I can see them taking it. And then, on this last one, I'm sorry. I don't see no reason San Francisco 49ers don't win that division with relative ease. I'm sorry. Look,
that roster
we don't look. They went through 3 quarterbacks last year, still dialed off with 12, 13 wins. No real problems. Like 52 men on that roster is a spectacular. This is the quarterback is the only question mark we have. They went through Jimmy G, Trey Lance, and then Brock Purdy, and were still dialed it up in the NFC Championship game with no real problems. Other than just the fact that they lost the quarterback in the game. I mean, they got there with no real issues. Brock Purdy became amazing.
They played quarterback in the NFC Championship game was still in it.
Because you have to realize, like, their team is so good, they can just put in a quarterback and they can still win. And like Seattle Seahawks, they're just not that good. They're good. They're surprisingly good. They're not that good. So to me, it comes down to would Seattle be able to beat the San Francisco 49ers once or twice out of, their 2 games. I don't see that happening. So the San Francisco 49ers, to me, still win the division with relative ease. I don't see them having less than 12 games. Even if Brock Purdy is Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0, they still won 12 games with Jimmy G. Like, come on, man. Matter of fact, Jimmy G, they got to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. Like, what are we talking about? Like, they don't need an amazing quarterback. If they got an amazing quarterback that was like Joe Montana, they'd be in GOAT status, damn near going undefeated. So, like, please, they don't even need that. So, me, I just see them winning. But it's my slight rebuttal. Babyface CEO. What you got?
Listen, I don't think the NFC that hard.
Yeah, he did.
we gonna one day we'll get it back. Maybe so. I don't know. Detroit Lions, of course. Again, we're going with probably the best quarterback in that division. Well, I think they're a little better than Kirk Cousins. Yeah, between him and Kirk Cousins. We don't know what Jordan Love can do yet, but I think the Lions overall, just team speed, everything just better than everybody else. Saints got the best quarterback in the division. They got probably the best defense in the division. I don't really see them losing. And Slant Man back. Shout out to Slant Man. He coming back.
Slant Man. Yeah.
I hope he stays healthy. I really do. I want him to have a really good year to show people, hey, I'm still here. I'm good.
I'm still gonna run slants.
He gonna run 100 slants.
It works.
Yeah, no, I'm not hating. I'm just saying, Slant Man.
Slant Man don't never. He gonna hit that man. They said he had a 90% catch rate. I'm like, all he did was run slants. He bet to.
He got it.
That was it. And then we got Eagles. I got the Eagles, of course. I think the Cowboy problem will be the Eagles can run the ball on them, but I don't know how well the Cowboys overall will play. I think the Cowboy will be a threat in that division, but I think the Eagles win. I just think Jalen Hurts and them 2 receivers and the offensive line, they got the best offensive line in the NFL. And Jalen Hurts and that running game is gonna be amazing. And then, of course, the easiest one of any division we had with the 49ers, because from 1 through 52, they probably better than everybody else outside of quarterback on this thing. They had a running back playing quarterback because they ran out of quarterback. The league made a rule so they can have a backup quarterback just in case the other quarterbacks get hurt, just for the 49ers, how many quarterbacks they had hurt. And they were still in the game, but it was just too much because Jalen Hurts and everybody could. Bro, and by the way, all you got to do is Nick Bosa signed his contract, and he gave a high five, and it sounded like a whip slash. That's all I need to hear. That man coming with real racism at Geno Smith. It is over with.
Yeah, some monster.
I don't even know what that means.
I mean, speak to the Bears. I do hope that I don't know if Justin Fields is going to make that much of a jump. I know people are really predicting him to have like a massive jump.
I hope he does.
I don't know if it's going to be that massive of a jump. How about this? We'll just, I'm gonna sneak this in right quick. Sneak this in before we go over. Just shout out to Maurice. Over under 11 games for the Bears.
Under.
Dang. Neither one of y'all believe.
Under.
Neither one of y'all believe. Neither
11
one of y'all
games.
believe.
They can
No,
still make the playoffs. So what? 10 is. What,
I like
10,
Justin
7?
Fields. I'm an Ohio State Buckeye fan through and through. I'm sorry. I just with that offense, like their wide receivers and who he has to throw to, that offensive line.
I mean,
He's got to pull.
Moore, so.
He's got to pull a Vince Young kind of year. That means that y'all gonna lead the league in rushing because of your running back and because of your quarterback. He's got to have that kind of year if he wants to win. Because I just don't see it.
I'm getting it.
And I'm gonna let y'all know. I frequent Chicago, and in Chicago, it's a different type of. Come November, December, it's different. And I'm sorry, it's just different. They play outside at Soldier Field. It's different. He has to outplay the people that come to his field, and that's. I mean, I guess the name is fitting, Justin Fields. Period. You're gonna have to figure out how to play in Chicago. That's the problem, and that's gonna be running game. Period. The throwing the ball and all that. That's why I hated Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall being together, because like there's going to be a point in time when the ball is going to freeze in the air when you throw it. Like Chicago's wild, like seriously, just like Green Bay is. So with that being said, I want the best for him. He's going to have to take off with that ball. That's just going. But that's if he wants to do anything, he's going to have to run at Soldier Field. Period.
Oh well, response to that, DJ Moore is there. He is there. So he does have a hopefully number one wide receiver. Screw the Packers.
They gotta get that. They gotta get the offensive line.
No, I feel you. I feel you, bro. I want that to happen, but it's hard to have a whole bunch of passing yards once y'all get to November and December at Soldier Field. That's tough for anybody.
Y'all saying y'all feel trash? That's what he trying to say. That grass, the dirty grass field, ain't worth nothing.
No, actually, the field is actually Soldier Field. They've done the best they can to make it better. But the problem is that like throwing the ball, those wins off of Lake Michigan, that accounts for a lot of things. So he has to win at home when it's nasty out there. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, do y'all agree with Mo? If you agree with Mo or no, who you think taking MVP this year?
Y'all better be saying no unless he gets some wins. If he gets 11 wins, he's an MVP.
Well, you don't necessarily have to get 11 wins to be MVP, depending on if your numbers are just that good.
I got Jalen Hurts as MVP this year.
Can we talk about MVP?
Hurts running it back.
Can we talk about what it is to be an MVP, the most valuable player?
Yeah.
Like, can you be 3-14, right? Can you be 3-14, but you got a whole bunch of nice stats, but y'all lose? Is that still MVP?
Nope.
Or are y'all what y'all? Yeah, what's your perspective on what is an MVP?
Because it's not necessarily the same as it is in basketball. In basketball, they look at MVP a lot more as you need to have a winning team to actually be an MVP. Versus football, it's a lot more stats. It's a lot more how many touchdowns you're throwing, how many yards you're accumulating per catch. It's those numbers that are way more important. Now, having a winning record is important. So I don't really want to say you can be 3-14, but if somebody's like, let's say 8-1, and yet they done dialed off, 5,500 yards throwing the ball with 57 touchdowns, you mean think I'm not going to be in MVP discussion? Please.
That's on your defense, right? Is that what we're doing?
No, it's just in general. Like
you do
say but if
you're putting up 55 points, 45 points a game,
you got to have a winning record. But history has showed two people have not had a winning record, and there's one MVP. One, Johnny Unitas, and the other one is O.J. Simpson.
So you don't have to have a winning record.
But that was
on
normally you have a winning record because, and it's the thing to be fair. Normally you need to have a winning record because normally the MVP goes to quarterbacks. So that's the reason why the record is so normally key because it goes to quarterbacks, 9.5 times out of 10. But you don't need to have necessarily on the record if your stats are just that good. It's just normally they go hand in hand because quarterbacks, they win because they have good stats because they throw it off and stuff. So that's just typically how that goes.
Maurice dropping facts and those are there a long time ago. O.J. Simpson was 1973.
Just letting you know. All about one score. Hey, Not denying
I mean, and you can throw that into account like their losses. You know what I'm saying? If you're losing 45 to 41, that's not your fault, but you did put up 41 points, right? Your defense is continuously giving up a whole bunch of points. So I can give you that. I think it's really circumstantial in football. I'll give you that. It's circumstantial.
But I'm just of the mindset, if your stats are just that good,
just off you killing it in stat wise, you're gonna probably be winning. It's very rare.
As a quarterback, I agree.
Like if you throw 40 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, I'm pretty sure you won most of your games.
Unless it's normally just.
But what happens what if you lost those games? Like, are they going to take those specific events where you didn't even get to get back on the field to try and win?
Like garbage time, then screw it. Like
I'll give you that.
Time.
But were they competitive games? You were in there, and then it comes down to your defense. Like for them to do something at some point because you done put up 45 points, I can give you that. We can look at that. That's circumstantial.
I'll be real. I'm telling you, if somebody got 5,000 yards throwing the ball and they done gave you 52 touchdowns and their record is like 6-11, I swear to you, they're gonna be in the MVP discussion. Because it is what it is. Like MVP
is that
not
tough,
necessarily
though?
the same.
You're not taking wins in at all?
No, I'm taking wins. And I'm saying normally the wins go hand in hand. But if your stats are just that good, in the NFL, they will bypass your win-loss record if your stats are just that good. It's just normally that does not have to be a thing because the quarterback normally is on the winning team. It's you don't have to do that. Like in the NBA, that's not a thing because there's multiple people that do wonderful when it comes to the stat line, but their teams just don't give the same thing, so they don't give them that much recognition.
By the way,
NFL,
O.J. Simpson, the reason he had a losing record, didn't make the playoffs and won MVP because he the only person for like the next 40 years to run for 2,000 yards until Jamal Lewis. So if you run for 2,000 yards and 28 touchdowns, yeah.
When does, just asking your all opinion,
but that's rare.
When is the record? Where does that take place at? Like, are you the most valuable player because you kept your team in the game and you lost 14 games? I can't. Yeah, you might be the most valuable player for your team. I don't feel like that's the most valuable player for the league. Like, man, he was killing. Now they lost 14 games, but he was killing.
I mean, but that's the thing. You don't have to be the most valuable player for the entire league. It's the most valuable player. You don't play for the league, like on every team. You play on your team. So all you can do.
So what's the MVP about then? What's the
most
MVP
valuable
of the
player?
league?
And so you play on a team, not on 32 teams. Like it's not like, okay, are you the most valuable player for every team? No, you're the most valuable player on your team. Like it's almost like if we take a couple of years where we had running backs take Jonathan Taylor, when the little bit of time he was looked at for MVP discussions when he was just running the ball willy-nilly. The Colts sucked.
They did.
He was still looked at as MVP consideration because his stats were just that good for that window of time that he was doing it during the game. And that's the point. Like, even if your team isn't as good, if you yourself are such a good, valuable player that your stats back that up, it is what it is. Like, he can't make the Colts play defense. All he can do is run the ball.
So wins don't matter when it comes to
not as much. They do matter.
It called Johnny.
Put it on a percentage. Zelmay, put a percentage. Wins versus stats. What's the percentage out of 100?
Probably 50 for me.
50?
Yeah.
I say that's low. I say that's low.
In the NFL, I'm thinking around
40
to 50. I think
when you have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen going at it, they stats similar. They both throw for 5,000 yards. They both throw 42 touchdowns. One might have Patrick Mahomes got a better record. It goes to Patrick Mahomes. He's number one seed.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
What's up, Maurice?
Like that.
I do think Justin Fields gonna have a giant jump up this year. So
I hope he has a good jump up. I don't know if he's gonna hit, but I mean, it depends on how stuff like opens up. You know, it just might be rough.
This month up until November is his time to get his stats together. After that, it's run ball game. Like they're playing outside. I mean, this is just for home games. Soldier Field is tough, man. That wind off of Lake Michigan is crazy. I've been there in December. I've seen it when Lake Michigan was frozen. That's a tough place to play, especially in regards to passing the ball. So he will definitely have to have more rushing yards during those colder months for sure. Y'all been to Chicago or y'all know about Chicago?
Yeah, it's rough up there. Very rough.
It is. When you get to November and December, it gets crazy. And you're telling them now they do have a heated field, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, Chicago is a tough path.
Gotcha.
Just on the strength of like right now, he's got it. Let's show me you can pass September through early November, and we're good to go. That's what I would say. He's got to do his passing stuff now, going up into then. Then you got to start getting ready to run the ball, in my opinion.
I'm just, I think I'm about like 40 to 50%. How much your wins are just more than stats might even be a little less.
What's the over? The 50 is
the 50 is probably the max.
The 50 is the max. 40 is the okay.
Yeah, I'm more like 40 to 50. Like I look at it last year. The reason why Jalen Hurts didn't win MVP wasn't because his team didn't win while he wasn't there. It was more of the fact that just because he didn't play. Because he got hurt, he had like the injury to him like the last quarter of the season. So it was more like because he couldn't play to keep up the stats. He didn't get it. It's not like his stats went down, why he didn't play or nothing. Like he still had the same average and all that. It was just because Mahomes kept playing, and was able to contribute more stats and kept winning with that. So it's more like if you don't play, then okay, your stats, regardless of whether your team wins or loses. I mean, they still finished 14-3. Yet he didn't get the recognition for that because he didn't play. So it's like, okay, how much can you donate to that win or that loss? So I'm more of that. But now, I guess since it's time, who's gonna be your MVP of the league? I need questions. We need MVP picks. I need
I already kind of said mine.
And also to everybody, make sure y'all go ahead, subscribe to the Make It Make Sense podcast. The link is in the comments. I just released it. Comments everywhere you're watching it. Go ahead, make sure to hit up and subscribe, hit the like, let us know. Definitely starting out.
Jalen Hurts.
But we need it. We need the MVP picks.
I got Jalen Hurts. Paris.
You are mad. You are mad, Paris. You are mad. You are mad. You are mad. You are.
I'm not disrespecting that pick because for real, he's in a position where he can be.
White Vic. Vanilla Vic.
Daniel Jones, like don't sleep on Daniel Jones. I think
Vanilla
he really
Vic.
He's a pretty good quarterback. I think he makes every throw that you can ask for. I don't know who his receivers are right now, but I think that's solid. That's solid. It's solid. It's solid. It's solid.
I'm sleep.
It's going to be. Do you think it's going to be a defensive player or offensive player, or do we want to break it up into?
Oh, I still think it's offense because I think it's too many good quarterbacks that's going to have like opportunities for like really good shots. And of course, Justin Jefferson is still the thing. If I'm going to just randomly pick one, this might be wild. I'm going to say it's Josh Allen.
He said neither did Daniel Jones know who his receivers are.
That's the whole problem. Daniel Jones, his receivers are like, who the freak are they? Like
Vanilla Vic. That's fair. That's
the whole problem. Like he can't have no name receivers and play in a division with the Cowboys and the Eagles. You can't have no name receivers and expect you have to score. And those are two of the top defenses in the league. You have to be able to score. Like no, but to me, I'm gonna go Josh Allen because if his team, if they're gonna be able to do what he's saying he's gonna do, Super Bowl, all this kind of stuff, he has to play like MVP, like the whole year. Because right now his division is already rough enough because his division now just got tougher. So he got a rough division, and then after that division, look who the playoffs is going to be looking at. Most likely anywhere from Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Jaguars, Kansas City, Chargers.
Josh
You gotta
Allen,
go do that.
the league want Josh Allen to win the MVP, so he up for it.
But I'm thinking I'm just gonna go on a little bit of left turn. I'm gonna say Josh Allen. I'm gonna say if he's able to hit this MVP like thing, he's gonna hit this Super Bowl like he says he will. I'm saying them. But shout out to Marvin Rose. Appreciate you joining us as well as you, Mr. E-Man Perry. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, not just Make It Make Sense, but of course to Unico Williams, UnicoWilliams.com, and of course on Overall 99 Media, and of course the Blur Cartel page. But gotta make sure to throw all that in there. But just I'm see this thing, fighting with star receivers. That's not like a foreign concept to me. I'm just gonna be keeping it real. It's not a foreign concept. Now, one, he want to fight. True enough. Diggs gonna have to step up in the playoffs too. Like like last year was a bit better, but the previous years when he went ghost, I want to hit it. I want to hear you want to fight or whatever, but you go ghost 2 out of 3 years in the playoffs. I want to hit it. I do not want to hit it. And it's not like Josh Allen got like a second wide receiver. Like, I'm sorry, Gabe Davis is like 2 games out of a year, busting out for a 50-yard touchdown. That's about all you got. So it ain't, and they don't even got a consistent run game. So I mean, like, what more you want from the man? But so I mean, they gonna fight a little bit, But the man still came to training camp. As long as he ain't request no trade, he ain't left off. I wish they would have got DeAndre Hopkins, but oh well. So it is what it is. But just if they gonna get to the Super Bowl like they claim they gonna be, he gonna have to be MVP. So that'll just be my bet for that. So he's half man. Who the half man? The baby face?
If I may,
go ahead.
This is gonna be tough. This is really tough because I'm in the stranglehold with the AFC North. Like I'm really thinking that they can dominate, and if the person that dominates, man, bruh, and on in the NFC side, I'm feeling the Saints. I just feel like it's such a clear path for Derek Carr to just put up numbers and win. That's where I'm at. But if I have to go down, oh, good heavens. I want to say Lamar Jackson, but here's what it comes down to. I'm going with Deshaun Watson. He has the most complete team.
Most complete team?
They have a defense, and then offensively, they have great wide receivers. They got a lot of speedsters, and those running backs are no joke.
I mean, Chubb is a top 5 running back. I'm not gonna hold you more against that. The most complete. Well,
and while I'm thinking about it, like
the Ravens,
the back of my mind, in my heart of hearts, kind of wants to root for Russell Westbrook. I mean, not Westbrook, boy.
Wilson.
Russell Wilson. But I think Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson is going to do something in Cleveland. I really do. So if when it comes to MVP and also comeback player of the year, I think Deshaun Watson got it. Cause
that's a big claim. I like that claim. I like the claim. I'm just like
it's hard to digest, right? It's hard to digest. But this guy,
if he's the Deshaun Watson of I'll say you said 2, so 2-3 years ago, if he is that Deshaun Watson. I can definitely see it a window for that to happen. I mean, they starting out playing the Bengals this Sunday. It's already not even going to be an easy schedule. They already starting out playing the Bengals. So that means
is Joe Burrow 100%? Is he ready to go? Because I don't think they fixed their offensive line issues yet.
I don't know. We're going to see on Sunday because that Browns defense ain't going to play. And I mean, he is playing on Sunday, so we will see. But
I'm intrigued.
Since we're going to make some predictions on Sunday, you brought up the beautiful, beautiful Sunday game. Let us look at week 1 in NFL. Just
what's going on?
Nice.
First of all, what did y'all think was going to happen on Thursday before the Thursday night game? If I may ask real quick.
What
did y'all think about that Detroit game? Detroit versus Kansas City?
I thought without Chris Jones and Travis Kelce that they would be in a dogfight.
That was a 4-point spread on the game, by the way, for our gamblers.
I did not think that the game would be anywhere near that lopsided like they were saying it would be. I refuse.
Without Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, people thought that defense did a lot better than I thought they would have.
Easy money for Detroit that day. That's what I thought, because they said that they would lose by 4. I said no, that game's gonna be close, if not Detroit winning. So that if y'all listen to my show earlier this week, I said that Detroit would cover at least, if not win.
Without Travis Kelce and without his without his like go-to guy on third downs and stuff, I knew it was gonna be a lot more struggle because again, that defense without Chris Jones too. That's your second and third best player right there. Gone.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I just it was to me. I did not think that it would be that much of a wide out there. Like I said, you missing your number 2, number 3 best player. Your other wide receivers are who did it and what for, basically. Like you just I just couldn't see them pulling out like that. I did think Kansas City would win, and to be fair, they did have a shot to win very, very easily. Like it just did not go well in an abundance of different ways. But they definitely had a way to win. It didn't go well. It just did not.
Third and long, Tony wide open. Oh, he drops it. It could have been a touchdown. He's way faster than everybody else.
Like I said, they had opportunities to win. It just did not happen the way they wanted. Some missed balls, some missed opportunities, a pick six. Next thing you know,
I like Dan Campbell, by the way.
And also, would y'all say that Detroit's defense really is the real deal?
No,
Hudson is very good. That D line is really good.
No, the line is good. The defense, no, that secondary is questionable. Like we saw, the Chiefs lost because of more missed opportunities. Like, and matter of fact, I'll go ahead and put the week 1 schedule up here. We'll get to this in a second. They lost because of missed opportunities. Like, Kadarius Toney was running free on a couple of plays. He just missed the ball. Like, he was free. Zay Jones was free on a couple of spots. They had opportunities to get deep yardage, and they just missed. They missed the opportunities. Like the balls hitting the hands, missing opportunity, all that kind of stuff. And they were able to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes at times. So, no, I don't think their defense is there. I think their defense, like the front line is serviceable, and their secondary got some questions back there. So
I can agree with that.
I don't think it's as bad, but then again, like I said, they're only going against, I'll say second tier wide receivers like M.I.M.S, Kadarius Toney, Zay Jones. They didn't go against a top tier wide receiver threat, which we will see shortly. But get some week 1 schedules. Let me say who's going to go in. We already see the Chiefs lost in an upset, but otherwise we got the Panthers, Falcons. We got the Ravens going to the Texans. I'll go ahead and get mine out the way. I see the Falcons winning, in an ugly game because I'm so sorry, Bryce Young, but it's gonna be a rough year. Ravens should smoke the Texans relatively easily. This Bengals Browns is gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna say the Bengals is gonna win a tight one. I think it's gonna be tough, but I think the Bengals win a tight one, probably around like 30-28. I think it's gonna be real tight. They're gonna be rough. I think he pulled it out at the end. Jaguars should smoke the Colts. I think that Vikings game is a bit of a setup. I'm not gonna hold you, but I think the Vikings still win. The Saints should smoke the Texans. The 49ers are gonna smoke the Steelers. I'm sorry. Like I don't see Kenny Pickett making. I don't see him making that much of a jump on week 1. I'm not seeing that yet. The Commanders versus the Cardinals. Who cares? Just to be perfectly honest, who cares who wins? Everybody's just going for the number 1 pick next year. But I have to say the Commanders, at least they're not trying to lose. And then I got, Packers, Bears. I ain't gonna lie, it's a bit of a coin flip for me. I don't know what Jordan Love looks like. I don't know if he is gonna make that much of a jump. So I think it's a bit of a coin flip for that game. I'm gonna go Bears with a little bit of better deep. No, the Packers defense is still elite. It's really a coin flip. It's really a coin flip. I'm gonna say the Bears for right now. But I think that's a coin flip game because the Packers defense is just as good still. So we'll see how that goes. The Dolphins Chargers. I ain't gonna hold you. Don't ask me. But I'm gonna pick the Chargers. I'm gonna pick the Chargers because Tua's out most of the year. He might have a little bit of rust still left in the Chargers. Got something to prove, especially because the Chiefs done lost a game. I'm gonna pick the Chargers. They at home. It's an ugly one, but I'm pick Chargers. I think they're at home. Then we got the Eagles and Patriots. Eagles should win. Rams and Seahawks. Seahawks should win. Cowboys, Giants. Cowboys should win. That's my run for that. Okay. Oh, shout out to the Niners fan. You know it.
All right.
Hey, shout out to Marvin. What's up, bro?
My go. I got the Falcons in the first game. I got the Ravens, of course. I got the Bengals. I got the Jaguars. I got the Vikings. I got the Saints. I got the 49ers. I got the Commanders. I got the Packers. I got the Broncos, Dolphins, Eagles, Seahawks, and Cowboys beating the Giants.
Interesting.
Mr. Williams?
I have
I picked no upsets.
Man, and the crazy part about the Falcons is like you don't know what you're about to get. Because I mean, but they're more experienced, I believe, from a veteran standpoint of the team than the Panthers. So I'm going Falcons. I'm going Ravens. I'm going to say the Browns. I'm going with
There's
the
upset.
Browns. I'm going with the Browns, and then I'm going with the Colts. I believe in that young kid.
Two upsets.
So I want to see it. I do want to see that young boy come out there and say I'm a gamer. I got the Vikings. Man, shout out to what that boy name is.
Cousins.
That's the quarterback for the
Baker
Buccaneers.
Mayfield.
Shout out to Baker. I like his attitude and his moxie. I think he'll keep it close, but let's go with first cousins. I got the Saints beating the Titans. I got the Steelers beating the 49ers. I believe they can do it. I like their offense.
Woo.
Commanders, obviously, because Cardinals said go to hell with this season. My apologies, Ashley. I'm going with Bears beating the Packers because I just don't know nothing about Jordan Love, but I believe in Fields. I'm going with the Broncos. I'm feeling Russ. I think that Sean Payton told him what he needed to tell him. I believe that Sean Payton told him stop trying to kiss babies and be a politician and be a football player. I believe that might resonate. Let's go with the Dolphins. I believe in the speedsters. I believe in the wide receivers to win this game. Eagles, I got them. And then Seahawks, because I'm riding with Geno Smith till the wheels fall off. And then let me take Danny Dimes. Let me take the Giants.
If I said now, Unico just gave you a heck of a lot of upsets. He gave you a heck of a lot of upsets. If I got to pick,
them upsets. See, I don't believe them other teams can play ball.
I believe in, like I said, I'm really finicky. I don't know if I got to pick one upset. I'm really finicky on this Buccaneers Vikings game. I don't know why, but I feel like that's a trap game. I feel like it's a bunch of trap games.
Yeah, I believe it's a trap game. I'm with you on that.
I feel like that's a trap game. I don't know why, because just sleeping on the Buccaneers, even though the team does have good pieces, does have solid defensively, and Baker is not. It depends on how cooked Baker is and how much you think the Vikings are just going to let them stay.
How cooked he is? What do you mean by cooked?
Like cooked. Like, you know, most people believe that Baker is barely a starting quarterback in the league at all, let alone, you know, a backup or something like that. So they believe he's more or less cooked. So, you know, how cooked do you think Baker is? You know, he does have people to throw to, like Mike Evans, who's on a contract year, you know, and all this kind of stuff. So it just depends, you know. And shout out to Marvin. He's giving your rebuttal. The 49ers receivers led the league in yard after catch. Last year, the Steelers were last. I'm not going to hold you. Like, the problem with the Steelers is just they struggle to score. They struggled to score all last year. Now, to be fair, they had Kenny Pickett. They had a brand new quarterback, you know, of course. But they struggled to score. They won their games off pure defense. So then the 49ers.
They got a really good defense, by the way. Yeah. Steelers got a really good defense.
It's gonna be ugly. They're gonna box over that game. It's gonna be
that ugly. Wide receiver something else.
So it's gonna be
but
something.
When that whip hand come out from Bosa.
I mean, because even like what Dante Johnson, I don't even think he scored a touchdown last year. And I think he led him in receptions. Like it's wild. Now I might be wrong with that, but if I remember right, I think that's it. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But just it's wild. Best defense in the league as of last year they did, but of course this is a new year. I don't know if we're gonna say that definitively yet. Last year they did. I will acknowledge that they did last year. I don't know if that's necessarily gonna carry over because there have been some defensive personnel that's changed all over the league. We're gonna see, but I don't think the Niners fall out of top 5. I don't really see them falling out of there easily. So you know, just easily, I think Kenny Pickett's still gonna struggle to try to score this year, at least on this game. But you know so we'll see. Oh, no problem, man. I appreciate everybody that engaged with us, man. Just having some fun. Now, since we're gonna have some fun, a little bit of engagement, y'all can go the same way in the comments. I got 4 teams, might be about 5 of them, 4 or 5 teams. We're gonna go through them. Y'all give me their final record, you know, for the final record for these teams. Let's start out with a good juicy one. The Chargers. Oh my gosh, this mug is horrible. Why? No, what? Forget that, because these lovely pictures are horrible. Let's start with
the Blue Beetle.
The Dolphins look a lot better. We ain't worried about that. The Dolphins look a lot better. They got the Chargers on week 1, followed by the Patriots. We have the Broncos. Then we have the Bills, the Giants, followed by the Panthers, the Eagles. Then we have the Patriots, the Chiefs. Then they have a bye week 10, so right midway through the season. Then they come back with the Raiders. Then they have those Jets. Washington Commanders. Then they got the Titans, the Jets again, the Cowboys, Baltimore, and the Bills. Oh my God, that last 4 games. Dear God, have mercy. And I'm gonna assume correctly that the ones that are highlighted are their home games. So a good chunk of them games on the last part of the season are at home, but that last quarter is rough. That last quarter so rough. But I'm
13-4.
Boy, you was
Wow.
brave.
13-4. 13-4. I picked them to win the division. They had to have that kind of hurt.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna actually go 11-6. I think they're gonna struggle a little more than with some of these games, especially that last quarter of the season. Have all those games back to back. I really think they struggle a little bit more than that. Like we saw flashes of Tua being good, but we got to make sure Tua is able to be healthy. And then even after he's healthy, is Tua really gonna be an elite quarterback like we think that he can be to then pull out a 13-4? I'm seeing 11-6. I think they got the good personnel, but I don't know if Tua is that guy. I'm gonna say 11-6. Mr. Unico Williams, shout out to Marvin. He got 10-7. You know, with that, which he's like, so 10-7 might be barely enough for a wild card, depending on how we're looking at it. So maybe a little struggle.
I got 9-8.
Ooh, that's missing the playoffs still. I don't think 9-8 get it done. He got missing the playoffs. My word.
I got to win in the division. I had to go like 13-4.
Oh, y'all two upstairs the spectrum, boy. 13-4. All right, then. Babyface, if you got him at 13-4, who are the 4 losses?
I think they'll lose to the Jets. I think they'll lose to one of the Buffaloes. I think they'll lose to probably Kansas City. And I think they'll lose to the Ravens, who I got winning the Super Bowl.
Jesus Christ. All right, that's one. That's one. Oh
I think they'll win the division when they lose to Buffalo.
9-8 is harsh, but 13-4 is hard for me to believe at the same time. Like, I don't know if they're gonna be that dominant. I mean, we'll see if they can dominate the Chargers.
It's outside of the division, but like my thinking is within the division, the Jets, it could be 1-1 there. I think they can beat the Patriots twice. Buffalo might be that one where they lose twice, and that's a cold game there. Their last game.
Buffalo one weakness is who is Buffalo one weakness in the whole league? Tyreek Hill.
I was say it ain't the New England Patriots no more.
It's Tyreek Hill. That man gets almost 180 yards every time you play Buffalo. I don't know what
it's that
even last year.
It's that Jets aspect of it. And I just believe that the Giants, and I mean they're playing against the AFC East. I mean NFC East. That's going to be their problem, and that's why they would have like kind of a bad record, because that's why 9-8 might win the division, honestly. And it's literally only because
playing the Jets with Rodgers and then Buffalo with their quarterback. That's 4 losses, so he got them going. What 2-6? No, didn't he even said don't even count out Belichick and the Patriots. So he got them running 1-5 in their own division. That's
my thing. The Patriots might sneak one out because of Belichick. I don't believe in Mac Jones. I'm sorry if anybody's listening. I'm not sold on Mac Jones. I'm not sold on this offense. Bill Belichick has not done anything to make you be like, oh my God, we got this great wide receiver. Oh my God, we got this great running back. It's still by committee. I believe that the Patriots are still running on that.
Even with Tom Brady, Belichick struggled with Miami.
I mean, for some reason, Miami was that Achilles heel, boy.
Like, I want to say 1-1 for Miami versus New England, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, 1-1 sounds good. I feel like Bill Belichick can win one, and then their loss is going to be because just outclassed.
Listen, hey, everybody should respect my opinion because I picked the Super Bowl correctly last year. Exactly correctly.
We'll get your Super Bowl pick at the end of this.
How many years of the NFL have existed? Jesus.
I'm finna get 2 in a row, right? What you mean?
All right. Back to the Los Angeles Chargers. First and foremost, we have them playing those good old Dolphins. Then they go to the Texans. Not necessarily going to Texans, but then we have Texans. We have the Vikings. We have the Raiders. Those Cowboys. Then we have those Kansas City. The freak is that team under them? I don't know what they got under it. Then we have the Jets. We have the good old Lions. Green Bay, Baltimore, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Bills, then the Broncos again, and finally leaving it off at Kansas City on Sunday, January 2nd. What is his final record?
10-7.
What?
10-7.
10-7, and the one that I was making a question mark on in October is actually the Bears.
The Bears.
10-7. I'm sorry, this schedule looks soft. I can see them running off 12-5.
7.
I see them 12-5. Like this schedule is soft outside of having to play the Bills division, which ain't nothing but the Bills and the Jets and the Dolphins. Getting through them 3 games.
I got 10. I got 10-7. I got 10-7.
I mean, yeah, they play in the same division as Kansas City, but the problem with Kansas City, we seeing they not as dominant, at least just wide receiver wise. They're not as dominant. Travis Kelce will be back, all things go well. Travis Kelce will be back before they play in October, sure enough. But even if I give them 2 losses again, I can give them 2 losses against the Chiefs. If they do the same thing and they botch them games, because them games were close both last year anyway. So if they botch both of them games again, lose to the Jets, lose to the Bills, and even lose to the Dolphins, that's still only 5 losses. Their schedule is soft. So, I mean, they have a talented roster from top to bottom. They have a talented quarterback. I don't really like if they lose more than 6 games, something is wrong. Something is very wrong if they go down to 7 losses on this soft schedule. I'm sorry. Like they just have too many squashable teams for me to be like, y'all should lose 6 games. Like, I'm sorry, y'all team is too good. You lose more than 6, something wrong. He has Mahomes like having Montana. I mean, yeah, but even Montana needed people to throw to. We saw that with the way they lost 21-20 to the freaking Lions. You need people to throw to that catch the ball. So, I mean, this first month for them is going to be rough until freaking Kelce comes back, and then they're still missing Chris Jones. So, I mean, you need people around the roster. So, it is what it is. I can see them 12-5 if they actually go well. I can see 12-5. We'll see how that goes. And Nico, I think what you say, 10-7?
11-6.
11-6. He cut the middle, man. He cut the
11-6.
Let's go to a little bit of a better team. Those Buffalo Bills. First off, yeah, they start off against the Jets. It's going to be a beautiful game. Start off against the Jets. Then I think that's the Raiders. Then we got the Washington, the Dolphins, the Jaguars, the New York Giants, the Patriots, Kansas City, step 1. Then we got those Bengals, Broncos again, Jets, Eagles. Then they get a bye. Yeah, they get a bye. And then Kansas City again, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Patriots, and finishing off with the Dolphins. The Bills have I would say, a very difficult schedule.
11-6.
They have I got 9 and 8.
Well, I agree. If they lose more than 6 games, Brandon Staley's out of there. But I really say Staley's out of there if they miss the playoffs, period. He's out of there regardless. But
Staley's gonna be gone. 11-6.
These are all competitive games.
Like they got a rough schedule.
They gotta come to play every week. They gotta come to play every week.
They got a rough schedule. Like this, starting off with Kansas City onward on the 26th of October, it is gonna get rough. You start out just with the Chiefs, Bengals.
That's the Jags on the 8th.
So they got AFC North, who I think is a dominant thing, and then they have to play against the NFC East, right?
Yes.
Eagles, that's a very tough schedule.
They got a rough schedule.
And the Jaguars for the NFC South team, which is
I'm just gonna keep it a bean. If they play the best that they can play, I think they don't get no more than 11 games. Like this schedule is rough. Like it has to be a combination of the Jets falling apart, so that they can get them 2 games. Because the Kansas City games are going to be rough no matter how you look at that. The Eagles is going to be a rough game no matter how you look at it. The Cowboys is going to be rough no matter how you look at it.
Is that the Seahawks over there on the 23rd?
No, that's the Chargers.
Oh, okay.
Like that still ain't easy.
It's a rough schedule, man. Like I
man.
11-6 is being like if they play well. I see
AFC West. And then their own division as well.
I can say 11-6
along with the NFC East, because they got the Eagles in Washington, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 11-6.
That's a tough schedule.
I'm gonna say 11-6. I'm gonna say 11. I think it's rough. I think if they put their heads together and they actually play well, give them their best on all their weeks, it's gonna be good. For me, they'll have to run off a winning streak. I don't think they can lose no more than one game before they play Kansas City. Because if they losing 3 games, and you got to go against Kansas City, the Bengals, the Jets, the Eagles, Kansas City again, and the Cowboys. Like, I'm sorry, that 6-game stretch is brutal.
That is.
I'll even throw the Chargers at the end of it. That's a 7-game stretch of like just elite teams other than the Broncos. It's a rough schedule. Like if they lose more than 1 game to me before they play Kansas City the first time, they're gonna be in trouble because it's a rough stretch for the second half of the season. They have to go on a streak and win all their games except for maybe one. They can't lose no more than 1 game before they play Kansas City. If they do, it's gonna.
And they got the Jets, Dolphins, and Jaguars before that. So
it's rough. It's rough. But I think they can get the Dolphins though. I mean, they can get the Dolphins in my opinion. They can get the Dolphins. It's just
I just think they secondary. They secondary too weak for them 2 receivers they got. That's
I would say
we contained it last year.
Tyreek Hill wasn't healthy in one of those games.
He was the other one.
Their ceiling is 10, but I don't mind it if they were under, if they were 8-9. Like it would make sense. You got the Jets 2 times a year. You're worried about the Dolphins. The NFC East is no slouch. Like this is a very tough schedule. Like this will not be they'll play well, but I believe their record's not going to indicate they play well, but they will play well. It's just they're like some of these games are going to come down to flipping a coin. Honestly,
basically, like I said, to me, that second half starting from Kansas City onward, that's next 7 games until they get to the New England Patriots at the end of December. That 7-game stretch, other than the Broncos, is just extremely rough.
Like I don't want to say that the Patriots are going to lose every game this season, but that's kind of what it feels like that as we're doing these comparisons. Like these teams you brought up, I believe that they can get in this division at least 1 game off of them. Bill Belichick is going to pull something out of the hat. I get it, but man, this is a very tough schedule, and you should be happy if you go away 9-8, maybe lost by a field goal or something. You feel me? That's the kind of season that the Buffalo Bills are going through this year, and the rest of but that means that Aaron Rodgers is going through the same thing. But I just feel more confident in Aaron Rodgers and the Jets defense than I do about Josh Allen.
You think the pass defense might show? I mean, the pass defensively haven't able to run good schemes. Because to me, I see 11-6. You know, if they play really well, just because I don't care what team you put in the NFL, playing the Chiefs, Bengals, skipping the Broncos. Even the Broncos ain't gonna let them stay to play them easy. But Chiefs, Bengals, Broncos, Jets, Eagles, Kansas City again, then Cowboys and Chargers. I'm sorry, that 7-game stretch is hell for anybody to go for.
Josh Allen will be in hell.
But I can see that. I can see them go 3-4 in that stretch, just off of the fact they playing all of them back to back. They don't really get no easy game in there. It's not like they can't play to the competition. They don't get no easy games in there. Like even the Broncos defense is gonna play them rough. They don't get no easiness in there. So they got to go through 7 games dang near straight rough. And it's like to me, I can see them just faltering on a couple of those games just because they might not show up to be able to play. Just I can see that thing rough. But so if they can get through this first 7 games, and run off 6-1, they can make it to 11-6. It's just
I can agree. I think that like the Bills might have that's everybody in the AFC East now. Mm-hmm. They all play the same people, so AFC East might have the tough road, and you just don't know who's gonna take it away.
Then let's go to the NFC. Then how about those Cowboys?
How about we don't talk about them, but let's do it
about those Cowboys. So first off, they starting off playing the Giants. Then they got the Jets. They got those Cardinals. Then they got the Patriots, I think, coming home. I think the highlighted ones are their home games. So the Patriots coming home. Then they going to San Francisco in the rematch of the playoffs last year, followed by those Chargers. Then they got a bye. They come home to see the LA Rams. They go see those Eagles. That begins game 1. Then they got the New York Giants coming home. They got the Panthers. They got Washington. Then they got those Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, and Lions in a 5-game stretch that's going to be a little rough, finishing off with the Commanders in Week 18. I could easily see them running off 13-4 on this schedule. I'm not even going to hold you.
9-8.
How?
11-6.
How are they 9-8?
You
The
could
Cowboys just as a team is too good for the 9-8.
I mean, I'm respecting the Giants. I'm respecting Washington. I'm respecting the Seahawks. Cardinals and Patriots. That's like those are givens. That's two. I apologize. What's that on week 5?
That's the 49ers.
Or on the 49ers?
Yep.
Hey,
Man,
that's a lot. That's a lot for me.
That's I don't know. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that part I
You
don't
seen
know.
Nick Bosa play black quarterback?
We've
Okay,
seen them
that's
play the
fair.
last 2 years.
So
I know. You
there's-
saw what he did. Hey, that
So
racism
there's
the
came in
games were
strong.
close. The games were close.
That racism
I'm
came
gonna say that they lose to San Francisco.
Okay,
I think
2
they
and
can
3.
beat the Chargers.
3 and 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll start from the top. New York is going to get. I believe New York can beat them. That's one.
Wow.
The
Okay.
Jets got them.
2
They'll
losses.
beat the Cardinals.
2 and
So
2.
that's one that I got. Patriots, they got them.
2 and 2.
I'm sorry, week 5 again.
That's 49ers.
49ers. Ooh, man, that's the gimme game. I don't know. I'm gonna give them benefit of the doubt and go with I really don't believe in Brock Purdy. So that's 3.
Okay.
Chargers,
3
they can lose to them.
3 and 3.
Bye week. Chargers, I think they can get them.
No, that's the Rams the second time around.
I apologize. Los Angeles Rams. I think they lose to the Eagles. Going back to the Giants. Giants might sweep.
Whew. Okay, 4 and 5.
But I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna say it's going to be 1-on-1 in the season. Okay, they got the Panthers.
5 and 4.
Now there's my 5. Panthers. I think Washington gets one.
5 and 6.
I believe in Geno.
5 and 7.
Eagles. We don't know how healthy either team is going to be by that time. That's deep in the season. But given everything is great, I'm gonna say Jalen Hurts gets that.
5 and 8. Oh my gosh.
That Buffalo team, I believe that they might be able to get them.
6 and 8.
Dolphins, I can't call it, but I believe that Diggs boy is going to take the challenge. So I'm gonna give him that one.
7 and 8.
Lions, that's going to be tough. I think the Lions say, yeah, I got them. And then
7 and 9.
Washington the next time. 8-9, brother.
I'm just gonna come out and say I think that's blasphemy. I'm just gonna say I think that's 100% blasphemy.
How good do you really think that the Cowboys are?
The Cowboys
against the AFC East?
The Cowboys had a top 5 defense last year, and the defense only really got better with the addition of Stephon Gilmore.
Were they 10-7 or were they 10-7?
No, they were 12 and 5. I think right.
Okay.
I think they were 12 and 5. So
okay.
I don't see. I'm gonna be real. I'm just gonna just cut this stuff in the middle, man. I think they sweep the Giants both games. I can see them sweeping Washington.
2 games against the Giants.
Yep. Because the Giants, I don't know who's playing wide receiver, so I don't really see them scoring that often. So I can see they sweep the Giants. I can see them sweeping Washington.
Is Saquon sitting out this year?
Nope, he playing.
Okay.
Yeah, he's only one dude and he's a running back. I don't know who's playing wide receiver, and Daniel Jones is still starting quarterback. I do not think they're going to lose to the Giants in either game. The Jets, I could see them losing if the Jets are what they say they will be, so that could be a potential loss. Cardinals, easy win. Patriots, easy win. The 49ers is a revenge game. I could see them beating the 49ers, but I'm not going to say that they will. I say they'll still lose, especially because it's at 49ers. It's not at home. So I can see them losing to the 49ers. Chargers, I can see the Chargers just botching that game. So I'll say they beat the Chargers in a difficult one. The Eagles, I think they split 1-1. Bills, I don't know how that one's going to go, to be honest. I think they beat the Seahawks. I think they beat the Dolphins. I think they beat the Lions. I really just see them running off at 13-4. I could see them winning 13-4 and losing 4 games. They had to lose 4 games. I can see them losing to the Jets, losing to the 49ers, losing 1 to the Eagles, and losing to either Buffalo or the Dolphins, but I don't think it's Buffalo. So I can see them only losing 4 games. The team's just good on like top to bottom on dang near every stat. Only question we really have is their quarterback. And we know what he can do. He's a solid, good quarterback. Yeah, he throws some interceptions, but he's solid and good, and their defense is good enough to where they can actually soften up some on the back end. I can see them running off 13-4. Their schedule is too good in the first 2/3 of the season before they get to the Seattle Seahawks for me to believe like, okay, they're just gonna lose like 5 out of it. Mike McCarthy would get fired halfway through the season. They lose 5 out of the first 9 games. I'm sorry.
What's the record? What's the record in the first 5 for you?
The first 5 at worst 3-2. That's at worst because the only ones that should beat them is the Jets and the 49ers. That's it. And the Jets are even gonna have a rough one because they're gonna be in Dallas. So I can see them beating the Jets, but I'm gonna say that the Jets beat them on a squeaker. But that's the only one. That and the 49ers, I think, beats them again. That's the only one. That's the only one. Now, I don't know if they're going to put a mud hole in them like that, but I can see the Bills beating them. Strangely enough, I could. But it's only on the miraculous ability of Josh Allen.
Josh Allen for MVP is what the league wants because the NFL trying to make it happen. And put him on the cover of Madden.
Let's finish with another wonderful one because we finally got one where Unigo Williams has to give them credit. And it's those lovely Steelers. It is the Steelers. He has to give them credit. He has no choice this time because he is a believer in the Steelers.
That's a funny comment.
Let's see. So they can beat San Francisco.
Okay.
I'm not doing Cleveland. They can beat the Chargers. They can beat Houston. Because they're gonna lose one against Baltimore. So I'm just gonna count this first ride as is this at Baltimore?
That's a nice.
No,
I
believe it's here because it's highlighted in yellow. I believe it's here.
Either way it goes for the Steelers.
I believe they're playing at Steelers land.
I'm giving Baltimore. I'm gonna give them Baltimore, but it's gonna be 1-1 when I get down the line. The Rams, they got that. Jacksonville, they got that. Tennessee, they got that. Green Bay, they got that. Cleveland, they'll lose that one. Cincinnati, I'm gonna give them 1 for Cincinnati. I think that's a 1-1 thing too. Arizona, they beat New England. Indianapolis, I'm not gonna be a homer on this one. They'll win that one. Cincinnati, this one will be the one that they win. Or did I already say the first Cincinnati won?
Well, you just say they split with them.
He's saying they split.
I'm definitely saying they split. Yeah. I say Seattle comes in there and gets it. Oh my God. They might win 14 games.
The biasness is amazing. So
I'm not trying to be biased. I really feel like Pittsburgh is a really good team. I just think they're going to beat each other. They're going to split. So that would be at least they got 3 losses in the division. If they split, they got 3 losses in the division already, right?
Yeah.
And then
I mean they would beat everybody else.
Wait, Joe, are you saying the Browns going 15-2?
15.
Wait.
No. I didn't say that. They're going to split, right? So with the other 2, they got 3 losses already within the division. I'm looking at outside of the division who will beat them. Oh, okay. Then I said Seattle.
Okay, that makes no sense.
So what's that? 14-3?
13-4. 14-3 or 13?
No, I got 4. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's 5. You said Green Bay. I mean, not Green Bay. You said Seattle and somebody else, and then you said the 3 split.
Seattle's going to get a W. I'm looking outside the division.
So that's 4. What's that?
Yeah. That's what I see, y'all.
That's 13-4 for him.
So you got them beating San Francisco? Oh yeah, you did say.
He said they're gonna beat San Francisco.
Yeah, I believe Mike Tomlin. That's a Mike Tomlin game.
Okay.
I believe 4. They might actually win the division now that I'm thinking about it, but I'd have to go back and look at Cleveland too, though.
That
whole division is crazy. Yeah,
I 100% completely disagree with Unico Williams.
Where
He
where
is
are
my
they
boy.
at, bro?
I believe they come either last or second to last in their division. I refuse to believe
Where's the
that.
losses in this? What do you see?
Okay, so one, they're gonna lose on. I perfectly believe they're gonna lose on tomorrow. I do not think they're gonna beat San Francisco.
Okay.
I do not believe it. I don't think they'll beat San Francisco. Cleveland will be close, so I can see them, like you say, splitting with that win one, lose one. Las Vegas, I don't believe in Jimmy G. Their offensive line doesn't look any better than it did last year, to be honest. So I can see them squeaking away that one. Houston will be a win. I think they lose both games to Baltimore. I think
Both games. See, that's the difference. You believe Baltimore is dominant.
Oh, they ain't the only one. They ain't the only one I'm saying they're gonna lose both to. But the Rams they should win that. Jacksonville, I think it'll be close.
Okay.
I think that'll be close. I'm not 100% sure about that one. I think that'll be really close. Might be even more like a trap game. But if they can't score no more than 14 points, then I don't see them beating Jacksonville. So hopefully Kenny Pickett has gotten better offensively. So I'll say they lose to Jacksonville to win against Tennessee. They'll beat Green Bay. Cleveland, like I said, they're already gonna split. I think they lose both games to Cincinnati. They beat Arizona. New England's a dang trap game the same way, but I think they beat New England. I think they beat Indianapolis. I think they lose to Seattle. They lose to Baltimore again. So I can see them 10-7, somewhere around that area. 11-6, even on the high ball. I can see 10-7, 11-6. I don't think they win their division by any stretch of the imagination because I don't think they beat Baltimore and I don't think they beat Cincinnati at all. Not
Okay. Okay.
Zelmay.
I got 11-6 or 10-7. 11-6 most likely. I'm going.
He's the same thing with me. But fine. Since you had to throw it in there, I wasn't gonna do it. But we're gonna add in the beauty of the Cleveland Browns. Since we have to talk about it, we have to see if they're gonna actually go 15-2. So first off, they go to Cincinnati. Then no. First off, Cincinnati comes to see them. Then they go to Pittsburgh. They come home for Tennessee. Stay at home for Baltimore. Gotta bye. Stay at home for San Francisco. They go to Indianapolis, to Seattle. Stay at home for Arizona. Then they go to Baltimore. Stay at home for Pittsburgh. Go to Denver. Well, the Denver Broncos at least. Go to LA for the Rams. Come at home for Jacksonville. Stay at home for Chicago. Go to Houston. And finally, they'll leave it by staying at home for the Jets and then going to Cincinnati. Off of this, I don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to be that guy returning. So I'm going to say I'm gonna really just split the bill probably like 10-7, 11-6 at the same thing because they got a lot of easy games, but I think the difficult games I don't really see them winning. So losing to Cincinnati, losing to Baltimore twice, losing to San Francisco, Seattle a tough one. I'm not sure on that one. Jacksonville a tough one. So they split the difference on those. Lose to the Jets, lose to the Bengals. So I can see them the same way: 11-6, 10-7.
9-8.
Dang.
I don't believe in the Browns.
I mean, hey, Marvin's with you. He said 9-8 because he thinks whistle twice. So he with you. He's like, I don't see it either. But we have our resident Browns believer in Unico Williams. What are you thinking, man? Gotcha. Shout out to Angelica. I appreciate you. No, never mind. But
Joe gone?
No, hell no, he'll be back. But I'm thinking. So I think Seattle. I think they lose to Cincy on Sunday. I think it's close because, like I said, Deshaun Watson getting the time under his belt, getting another year under like 6-7 games on his belt, getting a full training camp on his belt with his receivers. It's just their receivers aren't amazing. Yeah, they have Nick Chubb and they have a couple of solid receivers. They have Amari Cooper. They have, I think, Peoples-Jones, solid tight end. The receivers aren't dynamic. It's not amazing receivers. They're pretty good, which means Deshaun Watson's going to have to be that guy to make them better because Cincinnati can just flat out outscore them. I don't really see a reason why they can't. So to me, I got Cincinnati losing. The Pittsburgh one's going to be tough just because Pittsburgh has an amazing defense and Pittsburgh can't score. So they can either split the difference there. If they can't score either, then it's just because of smash mouth game. So that's going to be a rough one. Then you got Tennessee, Baltimore. They'll lose to Baltimore. They should beat Tennessee. Tennessee start another rookie quarterback. They're just going to mollywop on them. Okay, so the question is, they spent a lot of money. Yeah, he has the only guaranteed contract in the NFL. Wild. If not, then what then for Cleveland fans? If not, then Cleveland fans got about another 3 years before they can hope for a bad year that actually gives them a top draft pick, because they gave away all their draft picks to be able to trade for Deshaun Watson to the Texans, as far as I remember. So they got about another 2 to 3 years before they can hope for a high draft pick to get a quarterback. Because otherwise, it's gonna be rough goings for next couple of years. So if you don't start performing for them, they gonna be on the outside looking in for quite a while. Basically, if he don't start performing for them, it's gonna be like the Broncos thought with Russell Wilson about halfway through the season, that they just got screwed over on the top tier quarterback money. That's what it's gonna be. Like, and see, that's the thing about it. Like, yeah, they made the deal for Lance with the Niners did, and yeah, that's a pretty bad deal, compared to everybody else that was in the top 10 draft. It's a pretty bad deal. At least they have a quarterback to depend on going on in the future. At least that they put their hopes on. So at least
I know Deshaun is the MVP. Trey Lance was. Trey Lance is. I don't know what that is.
He was. Yeah,
Trey Lance got beat by 3 other quarterbacks, and 2 of them were like basically undrafted.
But see, the thing about Trey Lance, like, it's bad, but Trey Lance has had no snaps. Like, he started all of 4 games, barely got snaps in half of those. Like, he hasn't started much. Like, he hasn't really gotten the full year of reps that you would expect from a rookie quarterback to get his feet under. So,
but the thing is, the difference I say is in that trade is I know what Deshaun Watson can be. I don't have a clue what Trey Lance can be.
That's the thing about it. He ain't got the snaps, and that's the only reason why I didn't really like the Cowboys trade. He don't get the snaps there either. Yeah. He
Deshaun Watson,
snaps either.
If you can get Houston Deshaun Watson back, Browns got something special. I just don't know if you can get it, but you've seen it. You've seen Houston Deshaun Watson.
But I don't know if you can get that back. I'm not sure if you can go get that back. He's only 28, if I remember right.
But what I'm saying is you've seen it. I haven't seen Trey Lance at all. That's the difference.
No. That's the only thing about it. Like, I don't know. Like I said, in college, he played for a glorified high school team. And that's the thing about, I think Trey Lance, how many years did he get in college? He only got 1 year, didn't it?
I heard echo.
At a low level college at that. South Dakota State.
Trey Lance only got 1 year. So he didn't even get that many reps on the college level before he went straight to the NFL and didn't get that many reps in the NFL. So it's just like, I don't know what you got. So he ain't gonna get the reps in freaking Cowboy land either. Like, he's third string on the Cowboys right now.
I personally think that, like, he just came up. We're gonna have to study that. I think we should really study, like, what happened to Trey Lance. Like, why did Shanahan, knowing as much football as he knows, why you thought Trey Lance was him? You feel me?
We'll never know if he's him or not unless he can get some snaps. So, and right now,
what quarterbacks did we get in that draft?
It was Mac Jones and some other people.
Hold on, Trey Lance.
I know it was Mac Jones because they was disputing getting him or Mac Jones, and I'm like, why?
Oh, well, you're talking about in the Trey Lance draft, like who was the draft class at least? Like originally, that's Zach Wilson.
There's two busts at this point.
Zach Wilson was in there, Trevor Lawrence was in there, Justin Fields was in there, Kyle Pitts was in there,
Mac Jones,
Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, and Devontae Smith. They were all in that draft. Also, my bad, and Micah Parsons was also there.
Micah Parsons and Patrick Surtain might be the best 2 in that draft.
It was a lot of people in that draft. And then Mac Jones, I think he came out like number 15. But it was a lot of people in that draft. It was a lot in that draft.
I mean, you had the number 3 overall pick, right?
Traded 3 draft picks.
Yeah, I was saying Zach Wilson
traded all those draft picks to get Trey Lance. So what do we do now? So is Jerry Jones being messy by saying, let me take this number 3 overall pick and I'm gonna put him as your shadow over you?
I mean,
I think that happens.
No, Trey Lance.
No, I'm saying that kid's not worried about Trey. Trey Lance got beat out by Brock Purdy and some other dudes. I don't even know who they.
What's the problem? What are they saying? Have you guys watched the snaps for Trey Lance? Like, I want to know, like, why
he don't never play.
Right? So he hasn't gotten any snaps. Like, he has not been able to play that often. Yes. And yeah, Sam Darnold's the other one that beat him out. But it's just like he didn't really have a chance to play well. And Marvin, that's it's unfortunate. They had 12, went up to 3. I mean, they could have got Mac Jones, might have ended up a little better, but I don't know what
They could have got Justin Fields at 15, wasn't it?
I think that Justin
Fields got picked up at 11. I mean, they could have traded up to get Fields if they really wanted to. But that's the thing about
Fields
it.
got drafted number 9.
I don't know what he got. No, Fields went Fields was 11.
Justin Fields went number 9 overall.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
Well, you could have got him. You traded up.
I would feel more comfortable with a Justin Fields pick over a Trey Lance. I mean, and look, even Zach Wilson at number 2, like that's that.
Zach
like
Wilson
man,
said,
that
them boys
draft was
fast
crazy.
out there, man. I don't know what's going on. I can't see.
Mac Jones went at number 15.
Oh, Mac Jones 50. I knew one quarterback got that. Oh, Alabama just scored a touchdown.
With that being said, Trevor Lawrence is the only one that's actually panning out mostly, and we're still giving Justin Fields a chance, so that's cool. But the first 5 quarterbacks was Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and then Mac Jones. Those are the 5 in that draft.
What's interesting about Mac Jones is he's not a failure or a botch. I mean, like his stats might not be amazing, but he has made it to the playoffs and a winning record. So I'm like, Mac Jones is not a bust. He's not right now. He's not a bust right now. Justin Fields is on the upturn. He had a more positive year, even though they lost. He had a more positive year last year, but he's a bit more on the upturn. So like those two, you still have out there. Zach Wilson is basically a bust at this point. Like they've already given up on Wilson, so he's pretty accepted as a bust at this point. Which is
yes.
And Lance, we just don't know what he is. I don't call him a bust. You just don't know what he is. He ain't really got the opportunity.
He ain't gonna never get on the field, bro.
That was just a bad draft, I think. When it comes down to quarterbacks, that wasn't a very strong draft.
Well, I mean, Purdy came out of the draft. He was the last pick. I mean, he ain't a bust. Not right now.
We talking about the first round. We always talk about first round.
He was last in the first round, I think, wasn't it?
No, he was last in the whole draft.
Oh no, he last in the whole draft.
Yeah, he was last close to Tom Brady.
It still works though. But
no, he was beyond Tom Brady. He was Mr.
Tom Brady was 7th round. He was Mr. Irrelevant.
He was Mr. Irrelevant. That means he was the dude that got drafted on accident because they needed another draft pick just to keep it going. But, I do like Purdy though.
I do. We'll see what
what was this? The 2021. So so that was the weakest quarterback draft of all time. Sounds like to me.
Huh?
No, it wasn't.
Where's the surefire?
Do you remember Baker Mayfield's draft class?
Yeah,
who was in his draft class? That's why that let me know that week already.
Ain't Baker Mayfield the only one left for that draft? Let's see. Baker Mayfield draft class. I don't know. No, that was not it. Josh Allen was in that draft class. We can't put that in there. Let's see who was in the Baker. Josh Allen.
These 5 quarterbacks, right?
I mean, but you remember the rest of them, right? We sitting there with Sam
Trevor
Darnold,
Lawrence,
Quentin Nelson ain't even mentioned anymore. Like Josh Rosen, he didn't even make it 1 year. Like, now hold up now, fam.
Right. Who was in Matt Liner's draft
2017 Mike was the worst draft class.
This is bad. What do you mean? This one right here that we're talking about with Justin Fields, there's only 2 quarterbacks that are actually doing something. It's Justin Fields and Trevor
2007 is 2007 worse, dog. That's Jamarcus Russell, Brady Quinn, Kevin Cobb, Drew Stanton, Trent Edwards.
That's fair. That's fair. I had high hopes for Brady Quinn out of Notre Dame.
There's some other draft classes that's pretty rough. I'm not gonna hold you now. There's some other ones that's pretty rough. But
that draft class
to stop getting off of Brown tracker, resident Deshaun Watson believer. What's the Cleveland Browns' final record?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I feel like they're going to win. What did I say? The Steelers were that?
You said the Steelers was gonna go 13-4.
There's going to be a split. Hold on. There's already going to be a split, I believe. They might get one of those teams 2 times in a row. I really think that Cleveland is the king of the AFC North. God. I really believe that.
So you thinking they sweeping Buffalo and they sweeping Cincinnati and they splitting with Pittsburgh?
Hold on now. Because they only playing Buffalo one time, right?
Yes.
Or what am I looking at here?
Well, they only play.
Yeah, they got to play against the AFC East. Deshaun Watson. I just feel like Joe Burrow might have a bad year. You feel me? I'm that's where I'm at. I really believe that Joe Burrow might have an off season, but the year after that he'll earn his money. But I don't know, man. It's so hard to. I believe that the Browns beat the AFC South, right? Indiana, Jacksonville, doggone, Tennessee, and Houston. That's 4 wins right there. I believe they can beat them. Then they'll split. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 7 wins right there, splitting potentially. Hold on. Who do y'all think is the worst team in the AFC North? Who do you think is the worst team?
Brown.
You
think the Browns are the worst team?
I'm gonna say Pittsburgh only because I'm not a believer in Kenny Pickett. I'm not a believer in Kenny Pickett at all. I'm sorry.
Man, this is gonna be tough.
He's only had 1 year, and so I'm not a believer that he's gonna make a jump from year 1 to leading the division in year 2. They struggled to score so much last year that even if they get a jump, I'm just not seeing that jump being significant enough in this division to run off at 14.
I think they get that split too. So that's 3 losses already. I think they get that split. It's now where we get into is where we're going into the NFC West. And you got the AFC East. So NFC West, who can they beat? I think they can beat San Francisco. They can beat Seattle. They're going to beat Arizona. That's 6 right here.
The San Francisco disrespect is amazing to me.
Why? So, hey, turn this off right quick. Let them see us.
I said, turn this off. Let them see us.
Turn the Cleveland Browns screen off.
Yes, sir.
So, why do you believe so much in the San Francisco 49ers?
Because I have no reason, based off of recent history, to believe otherwise. I remember a stat somebody brought up that at least for the last few years, San Francisco has either not made the playoffs or they've been in the NFC Championship game every single year. I don't really
think that Brock Purdy is that.
I believe he doesn't have to be. They made a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo and was leading in the 3rd quarter of that same Super Bowl if it wasn't for his interception stuff. Like literally, their team is so good on a 52-man roster other than quarterback. They don't need a Tom Brady for them to be successful. They just need somebody to throw the ball decently. And so to me, it's the fact that their roster is so good that I dang near don't care who their quarterback is. If you were able to be successful with Jimmy G, not that Jimmy G is a horrible quarterback or nothing, he's solid, but just if you can be good with Jimmy G, that's all you need to be successful and run off 12 to 14 wins with no real issue. So to me, I'm like, what reason do I have to believe they're not good? They have been.
I hear what you're saying.
Touchdown.
But you say, nah, nigga, I got Brock Purdy. I ain't even tripping. Would you say that?
Yep. Because it's like I don't need Brock. Yeah, I said Purdy is good. But that's what I'm saying. I don't need Purdy to be Deshaun Watson of 2 years ago, young quarterback. I don't need him to be Tom Brady in his prime. I don't need him to be Joe Montana for the 49ers. I just need him to be Jimmy G level quality. That ain't hard to get. And plus, based off of last year,
Jimmy G quality quarterback gets you to the Super Bowl, right?
It almost did last year. And it did 2 years
because
ago.
of 49ers team, or is he going to do his thing as a Raider? So why are we not talking about the Raiders? Is Jimmy G a guy, or
it's the team? We keep saying
the team is
so what y'all saying is Shanahan, he got the formula. Is that correct?
He got the team. Like the other
Does he
52
have
members
the
of the
formula?
quarterback are just that good.
Okay. Okay.
That's the reason. It's just that good. Like it ain't the fact that I think Purdy is. I mean, not say Purdy is good. Like based on the last 8 games, fine.
Is he?
Not looking at, but
Is
just
he? What
he
is
went
what does
undefeated.
Madden have him rated right now?
Heck if I know, but he went undefeated. He went undefeated all the way up until he got hurt in the NFC Championship game. To me,
Is he really that good, or is it that system?
It don't
So
matter.
why? So let's. I just want to get. Let's have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with Trey Lance? Why can't he do that?
Because
I'm just asking
he did not
your
get the
opinion.
snaps. He did not get the snaps and the opportunity to show that he can. So what happened is that the 49ers just cut their losses. It's not as though the fact that he can't. It's just he didn't get the opportunity to show that he can. And the 49ers just like, well, we got somebody that we know can do it. So screw it. We ain't got to keep you. That's how they felt. That simple. They just cut their losses.
Trey Lance could not beat Brock Purdy.
Nope.
He couldn't.
In the background quarterback over training camp, he couldn't even beat out Sam Darnold.
Well, hold on. I got a special love for Sam Darnold after what he did in that USC game against Oregon. That was great. But no, because Sam Darnold can play. Sam Darnold can play. I'm a fan of Sam Darnold. I don't understand why he's going around the league like this.
Because he can't play to the level of earning a starting contract in the National Football League.
He ain't Brock Purdy.
Well, Purdy
He's
ain't
not.
Purdy either.
Whoa, hold on. We can save this conversation for another time.
Oh, here we go.
You're saying Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold is just not somebody's there and somebody else is not.
One starting and one's the backup.
Yeah, and they both played against each other. They played.
One starting and one's the backup. And I'm gonna tell you.
I gotta give it to you. I'll give it to you. But man,
I just thank you, Sean Strickland.
Huh?
I just sent you Sean Strickland tonight. Who you get?
I was saying, Sean Strickland.
There's a fight tonight.
UFC fight.
Donald's on some very bad teams. I mean, yeah, he was.
Sam Darnold came from bad teams.
He was on bad teams. This is true. But the sad fact about it, most rookie quarterbacks have to start on bad teams, and they're able to show that they have qualities that are good. Sam Darnold didn't show that he had those qualities, so they didn't start him.
My guy wins. He wins games. I gotta say, Sam Darnold is a
game because he won.
Hey, listen, Caleb Williams said if his daddy was like if Arizona tank, he might just stay in the college. Let me tell y'all this. I know we about to get off of here, but I just want to say certain situations that a quarterback gets put in is just like a point guard as well. If you're put into a position where you don't have a chance to succeed, you're going to have a problem. Sam Darnold with the Jets, they didn't have offensive line. But when I was watching him at USC, he made every throw that you would ask. Do you hear me? Is that real? Is Sam Darnold talented enough to make every pass? But when you go to a bad team, what you supposed to do? Simple. That's it.
See, the exceptions in life are this. Shedeur Sanders, he doesn't have a good offensive line. I'm going to tell you that right now. But he's making things happen. He's making things happen. And they put up more than 40 points a game. We're here for it. What you over here looking at?
I don't know.
Oh, Alabama about to lose to Texas because this quarterback just threw straight to Texas player and nobody was around him, and I don't understand.
Here we go again.
Now there that goes. And then that can take us into an even deeper conversation about NIL, who paying the most to get the best person. But there's that. But all I'm saying is this:
who is that going to?
Anybody.
And I mean,
what I'm saying, but I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm gonna conclude my point at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He is doing the best that he can. Shedeur Sanders, he don't got no line, and he's making great throws. And I think that all NFL scouts and all that, like you got to know his accuracy, his field vision, all of that, because he doesn't have a great offensive line. They didn't.
Some of that be on him.
Deion
Though.
Wing-
Sometimes he hold the ball too long.
No, he doesn't. Matter of fact, my biggest gripe on him is the fact that he doesn't run enough.
He not that fast though. He's quick, but he ain't fast.
He's better than Tom Brady getting out the pocket, right? Is he
Everybody
better than Tom Brady getting out the pocket?
Everybody better than
That's
Tom
what
Brady
I'm
at the pocket. Tom Brady run like a. You see
But
Tom
no,
Brady?
and then,
Crap, he
but
ran like a
no,
duck.
but no, to know that you are fast enough to get out of those situations, but that Tom Brady awareness in the pocket, that boy Shedeur is going to be bad. And then it's going to be, but because as a quarterback, yeah, you know you can get 20, 30 yards rushing if you want to, but it's that time that you choose to do it. But if you maintain yourself as a pocket quarterback, that's how they respect you in that sense. That's when you surprise them. So that's all I got to say, man. Hey, look, they 2-0. Colorado is 2-0.
Texas is about to be Alabama and SEC as they move into the SEC next year. That's crazy.
That's going to be a problem. If Alabama loses tonight, that's going to be a problem for that whole SEC. They're going to rethink
Texas in the SEC now. Well, next year.
Let's see. Otherwise, we'll
lost
end on
some
that.
teams in the SEC.
Appreciate y'all for joining us for another episode of Make It Make Sense. Good old
Yeah,
football.
man.
Y'all make sure y'all enjoy the football. Make sure y'all subscribe, of course, to all the pages over on 99 Media, Blur Cartel, of course, Bro Ugly News, and of course, to Make It Make Sense, the podcast YouTube.
Go and watch, and we ask a question: who is the new main character? Power. Shout out to Joe for doing the voiceover as I edited that video. We're gonna probably do a lot more.
Shout out to your new idea of how we do these.
Otherwise, Unico Williams, where can they find you in case they need to challenge you for your takes today?
Man, y'all can find me at Overall 99 Media on. Do you hear me? 12-4, Jag. What's the math? What's the math? 2 safeties?
Hey, they might have a tie. You don't never know. Shout out to Ebony and Queen. Shout out to him.
Well, I honestly, more than anything, I appreciate you, pulling up and commenting on the channel. Also, you can find me in Overall 99 Media. Those are my guys. And then also you can find me on UNIQO space Williams on YouTube. We're doing our thing. We're on the road to 500 and we showing out. Do you hear me?
Also, for goals, Zelmay, this is true. Like I said, he didn't show good things in the preseason games that he got in there. It's true. I'm just saying, the man only had 4 starts. Like it's not going to be a lot that he's going to get from 4 starts. You know, I would say every rookie quarterback really needs a full year to be able to actually properly evaluate them. They need a full year.
And also, Marvin, where are you from? If you don't mind hitting, don't tell me the address. Just tell me the state. Where are you from?
And she meant 12 and 5. She's correct. She said 12 and 5. You leave that shit alone.
Somebody might take that as a threat.
No. We don't dox nobody. I just want to know what state he from, where he's speaking from.
Hey, where you from, my guy?
Babyface.
We don't dox nobody.
I might need to come see you.
He was hurt his rookie year. That's a problem. But no, he's from like SO in California.
Oh, okay. You in SoCal. Oh, SoCal. Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah, so he was hurt his rookie year. It's unfortunate. I would say his situation is more unfortunate because he was hurt the time he was supposed to have. That's the unfortunate part for him. It's just
that's fair. Like for real, that's fair. Like I got love for Trey Lance on some real stuff. Like I got love for him.
I think he just needed more time. He was young. He only had 1 year starting over the course of college. He came in the league.
Aaron Rodgers sat for 4 years, correct?
You know,
yeah. Marvin, that guy.
Aaron Rodgers sat for 4 years.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers had a guaranteed start. Trey Lance ain't got that no more. He would have got it, but he got hurt last year, so it's unfortunate. Well,
so what is he? Where? And I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna quit messing with y'all. But Trey Lance on the Cowboys, where is he looking for an opportunity, or what do you think Jerry is doing with him?
I mean, Jerry
gets a chance to be on the team.
Jerry's probably one of a backup quarterback that he can put on there because Cooper Rush is probably gonna get some bigger contract after his contract runs out next year, or something like that. If I had to guess, so he
Cooper
just
Rush
gets
is
Trey
about to
Lance
get a
like
contract.
that combined with you get Trey Lance, you get to be in the newspapers, get the team talked about, get a long-term project or
Texas and
something
them
like
lost
that.
to Miami.
But I just think he got him because
Hey, shout out
he
to
was
Miami.
easy, he was free. You get a backup quarterback, you can replace him Cooper Rush later. And in 2 years, when trades up for like
SEC
actual
losing
contract,
a
we'll see
lot.
who we get in. So that's that. But
SEC is not on top no more.
What
I'm
can
just
we get
letting
from
y'all
you,
know.
Babyface?
As long as Georgia dominate, I think that'd be good. But in that,
We got 13
Alabama-
minutes left in that game, so we'll see that. Where can they find you, Babyface, besides watching that game?
Overall 99 Media, you can find me at I'll Be That News, where we talk about the craziest stories on earth. A black woman got punched the other day by the police. Was it right? Was it wrong? I discussed. Some guy was sniffing women from behind in the Barnes and Nobles from state to state. All that stuff on I'll Be That News. Let's go watch.
And then of course Jerry, the headline grabber. That's funny. I don't think Dak will get hurt again. Naturally, I don't really wish injury on any player, but Dak, he had the major injury. But as far as we've known, other than the major, I think it was the tibia injury that kept him out for an extended period of time, and then the hand injury. He's normally a pretty solid quarterback. He's normally in the game. So, past these last couple of years, so the major injury, he's been pretty solid. So I don't really think he'll get hurt again like that. Plus, last year's injury was a bit of a fluke. It's something that we've seen a couple of quarterbacks go through at bad times. They throw the ball, they run their finger or they hand off the top of somebody's helmet coming towards them. So, it's just unfortunate. Barring something like that, I don't think he'll get hurt again majorly. I hope he's fine.
I'll be that news.
Otherwise, I'm your boy, Monterey Hudson. Catch it everywhere it says Monterey Hudson, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
It was on a TikTok. He was sniffing her on the TikTok. He was right in the. I'm like, what is he doing?
We're not gonna worry about Babyface over here. He's on some crazy stuff at this point.
I'll be that news.
Of course, I'm making it to the podcast.
Depravity.
Sign in, subscribe. Best of luck to everybody in their fantasy football. Believe me, I will be in some too. We'll see what happens on week 1. Peace out there, everybody.